Hello and good day to all fellow Tbcians, broadcasters, and the larger billion coin community all over the world, wherever we may be it in America, Canada, England, Russia, Indonesia, Nigeria, Cameroon, Pakistan, Germany, and all over the world. Every single country we have our members growing stronger day by day. Welcome to another inspirational broadcast full of motivations from me, Ibrahim Kareem. As usual, I'll be taking us on some inspiring and worthwhile information. Today, I want to talk about the new world order. The new world order. I'm very, very sure most of us don't even know what is the new world order. Or let us say, what is this so-called new world order going to be? It is a very, very essential piece of information because it has to do with the destiny of all of us, all humanity on this earth of ours. The new world order is meant to be how the elite are trying to change the present world order to one more convenient for them. But most people classify this as a conspiracy theory, which is not, because there is this danger of everything that we don't know or we don't understand or seemed improbable to be classified as a conspiracy theory. And that might be another avenue for the elites to lull us all into complacency. So, without further ado, let me expatiate on the New World Order. Proponents say that it is an anticipated new era of global cooperation between diverse nations and cultures, aimed at ushering in a utopia in quote, providing all the Earth's citizens with everything they need. Detractors claim it's the systematic takeover by secret societies and quasi-government entities and corporations who are covertly organizing a global socialist all-powerful government which aims to all-powerful and single government which aims to regulate every aspect of people's lives rendering them a perpetual working class while the elite leadership lives in luxury. Now, that seems a lot to take in, but that is the fact of the matter. To further enlighten us about this new world order, I will be seeking assistance of our able admin. I'll be reviewing the blog that he wrote about this situation, and it is quite pertinent. The blog says why a one world government, new world order is a very bad idea for humanity. Okay, the year is 2019. And here we stand at the cusp of great change globally. The financial system known by the previous 5 generations is in its final stages of total collapse. Now, there is no doubt about whether our financial system is going to collapse. It is a fact. Most people are aware of that. It is only when is the collapse that we aren't sure about, and that is the debate. When, not if. So, upon its final breath, humanity could be facing its darkest hour. Some have worked vigorously towards a global financial reset to provide a soft landing within this transition from a completely fiat-based system back to a gold-backed system. Within this brief window of change comes the opportunity for the ruling class elite to firmly establish their new world order of a one world government. It seems impossible for us to imagine that there will be or there can be a one government for the whole world, governing Africa, Europe, America, Australia, and Asia. But never say never. There is nothing impossible in this world. It can be done, and I hope we would not sit back and just wake up one day and find it already done, and then we will wonder or be wondering what happened. This is the time to be wary. This is the time to be informed. And this is the time to react. This is a warning to all of humanity. The elite must fail now to set up a one world government, because if they succeed, it will be the end of freedom. Yes, it will be the end of freedom. Do we think we're suffering now? Do we think we are poor now? Do we think there is diseases now? This moment will be nothing comparable to what will be when the new world information, the new world order the one government succeeds. Most of humanity today has a reasonable amount of freedom, yet the fiat-based system has enslaved humanity to debt. Debts in large part that were not incurred by the individuals. All of the governments have created vast debts over the last 100 years, and their citizens are expected to carry those debts. So, while most of us are free to choose our professions, free to raise a family as we see fit, and free to travel to a certain degree, bar your visas, the burden of these debts weigh down on us and have a very negative impact on our lives. These debts could be the excuse used by the elite to start a global war when the plug is pulled on the entire banking system. What will the people do when all of the banks are closed? How will companies be able to operate without access to the bank? What happens when paper money suddenly becomes worthless? How long can humanity sustain itself in such a dark time? These and many more questions are crying out to be answered. The elites have planned this scenario for a very long time, and they have planned to introduce a one world government as the solution. How would a one world government impact the freedoms you enjoy today? The short answer to that question is that ultimately it will completely destroy all our freedoms as you know it. It would lead to every aspect of your lives being controlled by the government. A government that puts its own interest above the rights of the individual. Total slavery as we haven't known it before. Why? Why would a one world government lead to total slavery? The answer is because of nature. The nature of government is force. Governments are run by men, people, men and women. So what is the nature of man? Many things have changed over thousands of years, but the nature of man has remained the same. When it comes to man, power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. That sums up the nature of man. The few that rule the world today do so in the shadows and therefore don't have complete and absolute power and control. They have great influence, no doubt, but that is it. Power is broken and divided between many nations and peoples and many houses. There is ongoing conflict between these nations as they each struggle for greater power in the world. This is a necessary friction that allows freedom to survive and thrive. The more friction there is, the more freedom exists. Power struggles are very important because power struggle, as we know it, tend to end one autocrat and replace it with another one, but it tends to reduce the length of autocracies. It tends to replace one government with another, one set of people with another, and one set of houses with another, so that we are not perpetually under a terrible system or form of government. Can we imagine if the government of the Third Reich then, Hitler, is still ruling from that time till now, being succeeded by his family and children? We can't imagine something like that. Hopefully, it was replaced by another form of government, another form of system. We, the people, outnumber the ruling class by at least 1,000,000 to 1. We do have the power to overcome the elites and their evil plans. Almost 1,250 years ago, a new kind of freedom was born when the American colonists declared their independence from the Kingdom of Great Britain. These colonists won the Revolutionary War and set up a republic under a constitution. The constitution separated the powers of government into three branches, which allowed friction to occur between these separate branches as each seeks greater power over the other. Before this kind of government was formed, most governments had total power over its people and ruled with an iron fist. Consider the known history of the last 5,000 years. Why has there been more technological advancement and progress for mankind in the last 200 years over the previous 5,000 years? Simple. Freedom. Freedom has allowed mankind to advance in ways that were inconceivable before. When government is busy fighting with itself, it allows the people to enjoy freedom and prosperity. Constitutional type governments have spread all over the world ever since the American Revolutionary War, and the result has been greater freedom. This is a much better world to live in today compared to 200 years ago and before. A one world government would quickly return humanity to live under an iron fist of tyranny. Freedom will disappear. Will disappear from the face of the earth. Humanity would have taken several steps back. We all must resist the deception that is coming, that a one world government will solve all of the problems we face today. Contrary, the opposite will happen. If we think that we are suffering now, if we think we are poor now, if we think we're hungry now, if we think people are suffering now, what would be experienced with a one world government would be worse than has ever been seen on the surface of the earth before. We all must resist deception that is coming, that a one world government will solve all this. Yes, the financial system is collapsing, and there are no guarantees that a global reset will result in a smooth landing for us in this transition. But the billion coin offers an alternative. The faster we build to 1 billion members, the better. because the world is fast changing. An educated billion people working together to spread the message about the truth of abundance on earth with a currency of its own is a real solution and will be a challenge to any such elites wherever they are. A solution that should lead to even greater freedom. That is what the new world order is all about, and it should be resisted by all well-meaning individuals and societies. We should say to them, enough is enough, and we will not stand for any retrogressive action that will put humanity several years back from where we've come from. That is what we ought to do. This is no conspiracy theory. It is a fact, and we shouldn't just sit back or keep on sleeping and wake up one day to confront this terrible plan. If you have enjoyed listening to this broadcast, please subscribe to my channel and click the like button. If there's any issue that will warrant any further clarification, please let me know, and I'll be happy to address any such in subsequent broadcasts. Thank you for your time, and God bless. It's been me, your inspirational broadcaster and Tbcian Ibrahim Kareem.